What is going on, everybody? My name's Ryan from Askreddit Tells, and today we're going to be looking at some more of the #1 stories from r/EntitledParents. Before we do that though, as always, I'd really appreciate it if you could hit that subscribe button and that notification bell to stay up to date on all the latest videos. Entitled Mom says my 7-year-old isn't allowed to mourn her grandfather anymore, ruins 7th birthday. My dad died on the winter solstice 2016. We are pagan and celebrate Yule instead of Christmas. It was in a very sudden heart attack in his sleep, though I'm not convinced he didn't purposefully overdose and cause it himself. My oldest was 6 at the time, and my dad was her best friend. It hit us all very hard, and I was struggling to help my daughter through her first real loss while mourning myself. My mom decided to self-medicate with crack and whiskey, ironically what my father used to overdose. She kept making promises to my daughter about spending time together. Being 6, she was suddenly terrified that she would lose my mom too, and then bailing last minute, always go to a party or hang out at the bar. She said this was her grieving. I said it was her spiraling, but she refused to seek help. Mental stability was not a priority in that household, ever. Here's where the entitlement comes into play. Less than 2 months after his death, my mom starts dating a new man. By February, she told my 6-year-old that grandmother had a new man friend. She didn't tell me. I got to hear about it through my 6-year-old's tears. She felt like grandma was replacing Pop Pop. Even if that isn't the case, the relationship was new and the kid was still grieving. She didn't need to know about grandma's new relationship yet, but my mom disagreed. She said she has the right to tell her granddaughter whatever she wanted. We got into a heated argument after argument about boundaries and my daughter's right to mourn. My mother said, "You need to support me on this." I informed her, like she did when I came out of the closet, that no, I don't have to support you, but I do have to accept you. She accused me of demanding she break up with her boyfriend because a child threw a tantrum. I told her she was welcome to live her life, but she didn't need to involve my daughter in every aspect of it. A few months went by of my mother constantly trying to force her new boyfriend into my daughter's life. She would ask how to take my daughter somewhere to spend time together. I would ask if her boyfriend would be joining them. I had to turn down several times after asking my daughter if she was comfortable enough to get to know him. She was not. Each time my mother would scream at me about ruining her life and impending on her grief. She was in mourning. How could I treat her this way? My daughter's 7th birthday rolls around and we get ready for a family party held in our backyard. I specifically told my mom that she was invited, but her boyfriend was not. This was a 7-year-old's party. Birthday girl made the guest list, and it is no place for drama. Well, guess what she does. Not only does my mother bring her new boyfriend, oh no, turns out the poor guy had just had a stroke or something and needed assistance walking. He temporarily needed a walker, and the party was through the grass in the backyard. My mother left her date to fend for himself at the side of the road and strode into the party area with a look of absolute triumph that didn't make sense at first. Then I saw him come around the corner, a man I didn't recognize and could only be one person. On either side of him were my in-laws, holding his arms to help him along the grass. They didn't know him either, but they saw him struggling in the front yard and decided to help him make it to the backyard. The moment my daughter saw him, she started to sob. Seeing just my mom without my dad was hard on her enough at the moment. Seeing another man in the place of where Pop Pop's supposed to be broke her. She ran inside to her room, and before I could get someone to cover the grill for me, my mom chased after her. I found them in her room, my daughter trying to pull away from my mom, and my mom hugging her tight and muttering in her ear. Something inside me just snapped. I knew that position well. She was being told she's a selfish child for having emotions. I jerked my mom away from my child and pulled her into the other room where the yelling began. She needs to learn to get over this. She's 7, Mom. This is hard for her. You're being so mean to me. I just lost my husband. And she just lost her grandfather. We're all hurting, Mom. I told you he wasn't welcome. She isn't ready to see him. Well, he's already here, so there's nothing she can do but get over it. You need to leave. You can't kick me out. This is my house. Now leave. She didn't go quietly. Everyone at the party knew she was thrown out by her own daughter. I'm just here to celebrate with my grandchild. When she was finally gone, I hugged my still sobbing 7-year-old and asked what Grandma said exactly. She said I can't be sad anymore because just my grandpa, but he was her husband, so I can't be sadder than Grandma. My stomach churned and I was suddenly very sorry. I didn't pop my mother across the face before she left. Edit. We did go no contact for nearly a year, and despite my mother throwing tantrums herself, we waited until my daughter felt ready to let grandma back in. She was able to mourn and heal in peace. Thank you to everyone who expressed concern. Second edit. Yep, she was high and drunk a lot of the time. This didn't faze me much because my parents have always used drugs and have had impressively high tolerance. I grew up thinking this was normal. I absolutely understand now it's not. Of course, the new guy is deeply religious. He has the occasional beer and smokes a little bud, but he got my mom off the crack and other hard stuff. Entitled Parent yells at me for being too good at laser tag. English is my second language, so there might be some grammatical mistakes. Cast me. AK, annoying kid. EM, entitled mom. S, staff, and F, friend. Background, I was invited to F's birthday and it was a place with laser tag arena, and I'm pretty good at it. History, I arrived quite early in the birthday, so I soon guaranteed my place at the line. It was the right move because there was a line to enter it and make the line move faster. The rules were free for all, with about 10 people in the arena each time, and when you lost, you exit the arena and give your equipment to the next kid in the line. Once I was inside, I defeated some enemies until I was still with all my lives. It was everything okay until I defeated AK, a kid younger than me that I had defeated before. So we went through the entire line again before I defeated him the second time. AK after recognizing me. Hey, how are you here if I entered the line before? I simply didn't lose my lives. That's not possible. You're cheating. So go and tell this lie to someone else, while running to hunt another enemy. So while I was running near the arena entrance, the door opened and the staff called me. So I exited the arena and went to see what he wanted. It's him? Yes, it is. EM, before I even realized what's happening. So you're the one that's cheating and defeating my angel? I'm not cheating. My son said that you is cheating. So you're cheating. And I'm sure that if S looks in your gear, he'll see that you're cheating. Let me check your gear. Gives him the gear so he can check it. S to EM. Nothing's wrong with his gear. S to me. You can go back in the arena. But he's in the arena for more than 20 minutes and my angel stayed less than 5 minutes each time. But ma'am, the rules are clear. You're only eliminated when you're defeated and he hasn't lost yet. But this is unfair. He played more than my son. Ma'am, please calm down. I only work here. I'm not the one who created the rules. At this moment, I decided to return to the arena, where I stayed until AK entered the arena again and somehow convinced 6 of the other players to attack me. I had defeated some of them before, so 7 children rushed at me, and even though I managed to defeat 4 of them, including AK, they were all able to defeat me. At this point, it had only been half of my lives remaining. So after it, I returned to the line and managed to return to the arena, but after half of the other players decided to go against me, I decided to go and play with another thing. I just remember EM and AK looking mad every time they saw me, even during the happy birthday. If you're wondering, AK only was at the party because EM was friends with F's mother. Like some of the older children, he was able to convince to attack me, so I had never met him before. I don't care if you're severely allergic to peanuts. Eat the peanut my son gave you. This happened literally a half hour ago, and I'm fuming emotionally and physically. The wonderful cast. EM, I don't know. EK, little angel. Me, marinated envelope. For context, I've been severely allergic to peanuts ever since I was born. If I have a single peanut, my body will try to strangle me. My throat closes up and I start swelling up. I even lost consciousness once at a restaurant since the staff lied about not adding peanut oil to my food. So I wanted to see what I could do with my cooking skills during my time off. So I looked up a recipe, wrote down the ingredients, and went to Costco. Also, I ran out of a lot of ingredients, so it was mandatory too. As soon as I walk in, I already hear screaming coming from customer service. Apparently, EM price gouged toilet paper, sold them, and bought a huge amount of peanuts. Apparently, she wanted to sell some peanuts at one of those little stands to give out free samples. But since the coronavirus is crazy right now, all of them are gone. She started handing out peanuts by the handful. She wasn't wearing gloves to little kids who started eating them instantly before their parents noticed. Then throwing peanuts at parents who tried to stop her. She was a real nut job. She went up to me and tried to give me a peanut, which I declined, explaining my allergy. She scoffed, went to EK, gave him peanuts, and told him to run up to me. EK ran up in a high-pitched voice. He asked if I wanted a peanut. At this point, security was starting to notice something, but we're too busy getting customers to pay and leave, so the virus doesn't spread. I declined his peanut offering, and before you knew it, he screamed like a banshee. EM ran up to me, proceeded to slap me, and tried to force a peanut into my mouth. She succeeded and I felt the swelling. I looked for my EpiPen in my pocket, then I realized I forgot it at home. I couldn't breathe. I felt like I was gonna die. Someone called security and I passed out right as I was trying to get up, hitting my head on a metal rack. I went into one of those phases where I could just barely hear what was going on, and I heard EM say that I was a drunk crackhead who raped her. I woke up in the hospital feeling better, and EM got arrested for assault and a lot of other things. I'm pressing charges since I'll get the money to pay off these goddamn hospital bills. Thank God she didn't have the virus, or this situation would be a lot worse. And with that, you have officially made it to the end of today's video. Did you like it? Maybe check out some of our other stuff and even subscribe. As always, my name's Ryan, the official host of Askreddit Tells, and I look forward to seeing you in tomorrow's video.